Naturally, like, again, plat players don't really think. You have to, like, understand this and then use it to your advantage. People, why do you think they're going A right now?
They lost B, so they're not confident in it.
Yeah,
so they're just gonna immediately go for A.
They're not even thinking, like, let's go A consciously. They're just like, B was bad.
They're autopiloting,
Yeah, they're autopiloting to A. Optimal for you. So they're gonna peek again. Oof. Okay, that was pretty dirty. And
what?
You can walk up here, throw a flash, like, out high, and if there's like 3 people that shoot it, you know that's a fight that you don't really want to be taking. Hey guys, so in this video, I coach a PLAT Reyna with some pretty decent aim and mechanics, as you can see from the intro, with the really nice one-tap. If you guys yourselves would like to set up a coaching session with me, you guys can check the Discord link down in the description below and DM me on Discord. We could talk about pricing, information related to coaching, and how you yourself can actually set up a session within the next week or two, depending on how booked up I am. Anyways, enjoy the video and peace.
But attack side, that's when I noticed like things going downhill, so there'd be a lot of stuff there.
You said you did. You think we could find more stuff on attack?
Yeah.
Okay, we could probably find stuff on both, to be honest. So,
yeah.
We're playing Reyna on split. So, okay, so you want to jump into it? Okay, so we go sheriff. I'm completely down for the sheriff. Looks like we want to start B. Completely fine as well. This map is heavily CT side or defense sided, so.
I definitely noticed on the second half.
Yeah, you were struggling on attack. That's very common.
It's because like we noticed that there was a Cypher and KO just shutting our utility, and like they were always pulling a one-way on B side, so it was hard for us to push.
Yeah, a good Cypher will always have a trip for B main and then a trip either in heaven or in vent somewhere. It's really hard to. Basically, mid control is the most important thing on attack, but we'll get to that later. Going for a peek would be fine. So here, pretty much straight away, I'm gonna think either A or mid. But we have a dart scanning A main, so okay.
Nice.
Yeah, we don't really need to dismiss here. Main reason I say that is because you only have one orb we can use this round, so I'm gonna be a little picky about it. For a second, I'm like, okay, maybe I can heal, but then it's kind of like not really, because this is if there's one here, there's probably more.
Yeah, my thought process for dismissing was like, I noticed in this rank, it's like a lot of people just swing right up after, so it's like, like maybe another one was there.
I think it's good that you're cautious, but here, for example, you can just run away. Right here, you could just keep hitting S, and there's pretty much no chance someone's going to be able to shoot you in time, even if they swung. Unless they're like shooting the corner of the wall or something, but
Okay.
Yeah, overall pretty good, but here you can see you dismiss as you're already kind of going behind the wall, so. I would have been considering heal more there, but heal's too risky to use, I think, so. Okay, so here we want to use our comms, right? Like, initially we probably should have already told our team, okay, one dead outside B main, at least some more, however many you hear. We can hear at least one. I think the volume's kind of quiet for us here, but now we know that they're coming out, so that's something you definitely want to say. At least for your Omen. I think the other 3 teammates here kind of know, but just in general for comms.
I'm gonna stay.
Okay. Okay, so what probably happened here was the Jets saw like 3 people on your team. She's like, why are there 3 people here? And then she told her team, and they're probably gonna leave. So like some awareness around that is good. Again, something we talked about earlier in text is I think people in plat are heavily mechanic based. So this is something you could work on. Comms, something you can work on that's outside mechanics, because already we've seen your aim's good, just from the few shots you've taken or the one shot you took. So comms and then awareness of what the enemies might be doing based on like just this scenario, like, oh, you saw 3, so they probably don't want to push into
I'm gonna stay
4 because they know 4 are here. So here we're going. I'm gonna go sheriff.
Guys are round.
Yeah, I was gonna keep my gun and just not buy for the extra eco because I felt confident in my aim this game. So
okay,
great round, team, great round.
This is fine. Like if you're gonna keep the sheriff, that's completely fine. I'm just looking at the armor here. I think you're saving because you want to have full buy for next.
Great round, team. Great round.
But our team should be buying, so we're not gonna be buying next round anyway. So I would recommend full armor. You could like sell a flash or something, sell something so you have enough to buy next round. But I think you might as well just go for full armor here, even though you're Reyna, because it could be the difference in getting.
These guys are trembling
between dying and living. So we're starting B again. I would probably expect mid or A. Not sure why we have 3 people in spawn 5 seconds before the round start.
Yeah, I even commented that in the VOD. I was like, huh? I hope these guys are not AFK.
Yeah, so naturally, like, again, plat players don't really think. You have to, like, understand this and then use it to your advantage. People, why do you think they're going A right now?
They lost B, so they're not confident in it.
Yeah, so
they're just gonna immediately go for A.
They're not even thinking, like, let's go A consciously. There's, like, B was bad.
They're autopiloting,
Yeah, they're autopiloting to A. So here, this should just be a free round because we have guns, but never underestimate this one person that's left alive because they could be the one that kills all 4 of you. Okay, good job. What should be happening here is if anyone's going to be playing B consistently, it should be the Sage. Because Sage can wall B main off and she can double slow over a period of time to really slow the enemies down. Whereas with you, it's probably going to be just like peek, you have to peek, or you can play here. But mainly, just as a duelist on defense, you really want to get comfortable positioning in areas you don't normally defend. And just so you know, like, because what if they were pushing mid every round? We're going to be good at defending B, but if you don't know how to defend mid from, like, B heaven or vents, then that might just be what loses you the game. Because they only push mid or something. Here, but mainly, we just want to be predicting. As a duelist, you want to be predicting where they're going. You want to be where the action is. Because that's what you do as a duelist. You fight. It's on like Omen and Sage to play kind of defensive.
2 or 3.
Gun out here, just to be safe. Okay. Maybe a little bit of over rotating here since they're not out yet. Could have just stayed mid. Could have just stayed like right here. Maybe held.
This, yeah. I should have stayed mid because I remember this round. This one was really bad.
Yeah, just stay here. Hold from heaven, like right here, or even just sit in heaven and play in a corner. But it's up to you how you want to play with the sheriff. Spam you too, though. Careful. Wow, that's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, so this is kind of where a little bit more map awareness can be really useful. Yeah, so it all comes back to right here. Like, we need to kind of like glance at the minimap at this point here and think like, okay, this is where comms are used to. Like, okay, team, are they coming out? Are they out A yet? Are they on site? Are they planting? You know, or is nobody out? Because if nobody's out, then it's very good to actually just chill here. Okay, I like that we're mid now. You can play this a couple ways. Well, more than a couple. There's a lot of places you can play here, but
like a lot of this game, like I think at this point it was like I was mid hunting now because I didn't want no more flanks after that.
Yeah, fair. Lurking Cypher can't have that. Okay. You can always remember to always use a flash here just to kind of gauge how many people are there. So you broke the camera, which is what I would have done. And then you can walk up here, throw a flash like out high, and if there's like 3 people that shoot it, you know that's a fight that you don't really want to be taking. But if nobody shoots it, or if only one person shoots it, you can still consider taking that fight, right? This is one of the least utilized ways for Reyna's flash to be used, because people just kind of forget to use it, or they use it like in times where it's kind of forced. But here, using your flash for info is really strong. Pretty free kill. And here, I don't, not 100% sure, but just in general, this kind of tech you can use for Reyna. Excuse me. You can jump and heal off of this. You might actually know that, but
yeah, I end up doing that on some maps. I'm like, I know no one's pushing me for sure. I just end up just jumping.
Yeah, you're right. Someone could be pushing you here. This is again where a flash could be useful. So if you flash and then nobody shoots it, then you could heal in time still. It's okay to come back. One of my favorite places to play after I come back here is right here. Just kind of hug this corner right here. People really neglect to like properly clear this when they come up. So you're probably gonna get one, and then you have the dismiss, or you should probably keep holding the angle. So.
One is grow.
I see.
We definitely have considered a flash by now, though. Okay. I think, is this flash actually doing a lot? I don't know if we knew the wall was coming up. We might anticipate it though.
I didn't hear a wall. That's the thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we just have to anticipate it whenever they're coming up B with the Sage. We saw them wall that once. They're probably gonna always wall it. Here, either gonna be wanting to move up on the right with the flash or break the wall to apply pressure. It's either way is fine. Just move kind of quickly here, because the quicker you move, we definitely want to move with this. This flash could be better, because you're flashing kind of on the left, but this person can hide behind this whole chunk of the wall here and not be flashed. So if you could like come up behind here, crouch and flash high, it would get more, if that makes sense. Oh, that guy's actually in that corner though, so that works. Good. Okay. Again, I mean, this miss is fine. Heal is also a possibility, because you are with your teammate. So unless you guys like line up, then whoever dies is going to likely be able to trade the other person in this scenario. Now, if you're alone, dismiss might be better, which is kind of safer. But does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So.
Yeah, pretty good though. There's a couple ways to describe this. It's like map awareness, but also like maybe focusing too hard on certain things. So like you died from mid to the Cypher a few rounds ago, and then now your focus is like heavily on mid instead of like, you know, yeah, you can focus on mid mostly, but also keep in mind that there's more than just one enemy, and you know, they can be up here. Be aware of, does your team have that covered? If we like to kind of automatically go toward B area, either heaven or B. We have not played anywhere A or vents yet, which I would definitely like to see again, because as a duelist, you really kind of want to defend where the action's happening. And so far, there's been some amount of action on A. Whereas, like, as a Sentinel, you can pick a site and kind of just stay there the whole game, give or take some rounds. Try to be more adaptive. Try to be more on your feet with this. And it's kind of hard to do, but you have to be like,
Yeah, that shit's weird.
You have to be willing to swap it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I like to see some flanking too. Like, if you're gonna play B a lot and they don't come B a lot, then peek B main. If there's nobody there, push up, try to flank.
Yeah.
Here we could definitely just swing the smoke. Oh, okay, that's kind of unfortunate timing.
I remember watching like someone, like a streamer, like, oh yeah, they all just spawn out of smoke, bro.
Yeah, this is really kind of unlucky timing. If you had gone in like a half second earlier, he's probably dead. Yeah. But I think, honestly, we could have peeked at the beginning of this round. You could have got one tapped. This is also where a flash could be useful. If you could flash in B main. If there's like 3 people that shoot it, then you have a pretty good idea where the enemy's going to be pushing.
My immortal buddy's like, oh yeah, a lot of people in high ranks, they don't even buy heavies. They just buy the gun and lights. Is that even true?
Well, you can do that as Reyna. It's like acceptable to do that, but at the end of the day, it just kind of comes down to 150 HP is just better than 125. So if your team's winning 5-1, it's kind of just, no offense to your immortal buddies, but immortal people in general are not really like the greatest in the game. You might look up to them now, but once you're immortal, you kind of gonna realize like,
yeah, you understand that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would, unless you have to. This is a scenario where your team has plenty of credits. Like, there's no reason not to have full armor here, even as Reyna. It can make a big difference. Okay, this is exactly what I was saying you should do. If there's nobody here, peek. If there's nobody here, push up. This is, again, I think comms are an area where we could probably improve a little bit. We're not really probing to ask like what our team, because again on the minimap we have no information into any of this right here. So for all we know, they could be all the way up ramp already, and they could be hearing this and not saying anything. Most people in your game probably don't have great comms either, but it's just kind of thinking of good questions. They could be here. Now they're probably not, because if I had to guess, they're probably outside A. I'm kind of assuming a lot, but
yeah,
how they play is kind of predictable. So Okay, we're just rolling. We have the flash. Okay. Unlucky time to jump there. Throw. This is again where you could throw.
Yeah, like another flash here.
Yeah, it might be hard to throw the flash actually because I'm pretty sure you can't flash behind this. But, okay. Okay, so something very simple here that might be kind of hard. This is something that I've struggled with forever as a duelist and as a Reyna player. And it's only whenever I have extreme discipline that I am actually able to not peek. Because why should we not peek here?
Because we have Spike on our side, so they have to push us.
The Spike has been gifted to you. It's a gift from above right here. Like, she's not going to be able to get this without really overextending. So it's very tempting to peek. 3v1, full HP you have a Vandal. You can jiggle peek, right? You can jiggle peek and probably even take the fight. But, yeah. One thing I'm noticing with you, by the way, that I think will really change how you're able to take fights is you peek closer to walls than I would. I would be farther back here against the wall. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it gives you a slight advantage. If you ever want to kind of understand it better, you can go into a mini or custom game and then look at these like lights, like the LOS of your character, and you'll see that going further away from wall actually does give you an advantage. Basically, if you're closer to wall, it exposes you quicker, whereas if you're farther away from wall, you can kind of like dissect what you want to see, if that makes sense, section at a time. So you're not like going from seeing nothing to like seeing everything like this all at once, and that's kind of why you die here, I think. Optimal for you. So they're gonna peek again. Oof. Okay, that was pretty dirty.
Such a clean one tap.
Good. This means you have pretty good crosshair placement here. So now, yeah, now this should just be our signal to just kind of get back and chill. That guy's probably confused.
He's probably so mad.
Okay, so now we know that there's three. We know that they're all three there. Again, now it's going to come down to discipline for you to not overextend or overpeak or anything here. Trigger discipline here. Yeah, okay, good aim. Again, your aim's probably gotten you here pretty good. So now I'm really trying to emphasize the things that are not aim. Overall, this is an okay play to go for. If you do stuff like this and you're getting punished for it, like in a specific game, like you're trying to go for a flank like this and then someone's watching it or someone's hiding in a cringe corner, like to the right over here or something. I know you probably heard them in this scenario, but just don't go for these as much. But I do like that we're flanking here because we haven't done that a whole lot.
I'll flank maybe like once or twice a match.
I think you could even do more. Just don't, whenever you flank, don't do the same flank. Try to flank, for example, if they go B, flank mid to B, and if they go A, flank mid to A, or, you know, flank from A all the way to B. This map's not a great example of flanking through spawn. Something like maybe Fracture would be a better example, since the map's just like a big circle. Now, so we're going to B main again. That flash is not good just because they can hear it and they're not going to peek into it to shoot it. So if they are there, you're not going to get any information on it. Now we know we see one outside A, one in market, so that's kind of weird. Crosshair placement here could be a lot better. This is something that I see kind of commonly, but especially like around smokes. Think about where the enemy is going to show up. Where you're looking right now is not where they're going to show up. You're actually looking kind of high. You have to, I think this might be actually because of the decline. You see there's like stairs here going down.
Yeah.
So you're looking, actually you might be looking at the box over here.
I'm looking at that box where the Cypher was, yeah.
Yeah, okay, you're just kind of waiting. But where I would be looking is right here, because this is where they're going to come out, somewhere in this kind of area. But if you can time it, like, because after playing this game for long enough, you'll just kind of, somehow your brain will just know when the smoke's about to drop, so then you can place your crosshair back here. Or you could just spam there if you wanted. You don't have to, though. But I'll be more concerned about them coming through the smoke toward me or something. No, I don't think they're going to be doing that because it's 8-1. I could be ulted. We should be ulting more, by the way. Your ult is not that valuable. It's good for a confidence boost. It's good for automatic heals and invisibility, but it's really about it. So again, let's not get caught with our knife out? Oh, they're planting B. Okay. So here we should just book it B. We should be like, come B, come B, come B. Oh,
2 ramp.
Nice. Yeah, there's 2 ramp. That means we can 3v2 on B if we're quick. I don't know why our Sage is still trying to fight A. This is where comms would be useful too. Those guys are just trolling here.
She's blind, she's blind.
Nice shooting there by dropping. Okay, good flash. Just stick the spike. Just stick.
42k.
Okay. I would have probably stuck as well.
42k.
Because unfortunately we didn't kill this guy quicker. I would have stuck this as well because there's definitely gonna be one B main, but I didn't expect him. What probably happened was he's like walking out as you turned away here or something, like right here. So he's able to come out really quickly. But we should have at least been able to get it to half, but we unfortunately didn't. So this is actually like worst case scenario. But I would have played this probably the same way. So yeah, because we're running low on time already, so it's either reload and wait longer to see if someone peeks out of the smoke, which yeah, it's just kind of a tough round. I think underrated, that something you haven't done once yet is come out rafters and just kind of fight. You can do that with a flash or just do it blind like this. Yeah. Okay.
I can flank if you live.
Good job. Again, I think breaking the wall is something you should do more of, just to apply extra pressure to them.
Yeah.
Fuel. Okay, well, they all just collapse all at once there. I feel like sometimes you have good aim and sometimes you're like just kind of missing easy shots here. So easy, like these easy shots, if you were to land them, would just kind of be the difference between you like hard farming.
Yeah.
Do you aim train?
Sometimes.
Like
not
here.
as recently as much, but I think like the past like month I was like crazy.
Yeah, like here I would say you could easily be at 20 kills or more. You've interestingly not died that much. Like you actually have the almost least deaths in the game, which is not what I want to look for a duelist. You want to be taking more fights.
Yeah.
And that might be because you're playing B. This probably has a lot to do with where like you're not kind of predicting where the enemies are. You're playing a lot of mid. You're doing things where you're not getting a lot of contact with the enemy. They go A lot. And other than that,
I was going for a knife flank here, I think.
okay, this is good. Okay, I actually can't believe that guy's there.
Yeah, no, Plat's full of this. Like that's why I clear everything carefully off flank, because there was that one odd guy.
I like that we don't continue to flank because it's just kind of like. I wouldn't leave mid again. We're kind of making the same mistake here. Where like they're not up. We don't even know how many are staying here, and they could just go back.
Already up ramp.
Yeah.
Okay, now they're up ramp. Wait, what?
Get shot from there.
Up ramp, up ramp.
I know exactly where you are. Spike down A.
I don't think Jet's up ramp. Yeah, like this kill should be very, very easy. If you're gonna swing something like this with so much confidence, I want to see some one taps. I do like that you have the confidence to swing this. And if you weren't winning so hard, this is not something you want to swing. But yeah, just did you do aim lab before?
Yeah, I used to do it before. Well, I did Kovacs. Yeah.
Yeah, either way, whatever you want to do, just do it. Do it consistently, and be disciplined about it. Like I told my cousin, he's starting to grind, and he wants to get to a point where we can play and rank together. I told him like 15 to 30 minutes, but whatever you choose, try to be like consistent with it. So every time before you play, you'll see massive differences. Like even in just a week, if you're consistent with your warm-up routine, you'll be able to go from this to just like clicking him after the first couple of bullets. It'll just be like, it'll just be part of you. Like the gun's an extension of your mind, or however you want to think about it. Flash here would be fine. You could walk up to this wall and flash. Okay, good job.
They use a Sage wall mid, and then Cypher set up on B.
Okay. Yeah, again, comms, because like we're not gonna be able to easily break the wall on our own, especially if there's gonna be a Sage sitting on top of it. So like, ask our team, can we like break the wall mid if they have one, and then choose where to go from there. Pretty simple comms. Just a matter of doing them. Yeah, okay, so breaking it, especially with this gun alone, is going to be just kind of annoying. But break the sage walls in general. It just really, because like, if you don't break the sage wall there, he can just leave whenever he wants. Especially if your team's making noise A. That's just one more person you guys have to fight. Whereas if you break a segment, she has to be a little bit more respectful of the wall. She is up here. There's 3 here. This is probably a good sign to rotate. You could take a fight too.
All of it.
Now they're gonna be pushing you like crazy. Here, if I could get a kill, I would dismiss back over here or something, because they're gonna be pushing you from everywhere. Yeah, okay, that's good. They're gonna be peeking you still. Try if you get a heal, that'd be really good. There's a gap. This is actually a kill for us. Someone could walk in.
They never pushed it. They knew there was a gap there or something. They just didn't push it.
I wouldn't worry so much about the KO knife, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't have any utils, so I was just playing that.
Yeah. I think maybe a little more aggression here could have paid off, because yeah, aggression's the only way you're gonna win this round.
Someone coming mid.
Good. Yeah, like say stuff like this more often, not just on attack, especially on attack, but also just throughout every game that you play. If people are just being like, you know, not receptive or being assholes or whatever, then you can kind of chill out on it. But when you calm, it should be because you want to win. Yeah, it would be nice to have someone else. What a strategy I like to actually do is if your team's actually listening and they're all like clumped up here at the start of the round, you can buy a shorty on this round, have them break the wall, break through, and just kind of run through. So you have nothing to really lose here. You could do it with the classic too, but I would just swing it. I would just swing it before the slow again, because we don't really have a good chance to win this round unless we get something to happen. And you're the duelist, so it's on you to sort of initiate that a little bit. Not saying it's gonna be easy though. You do have a classic.
Two sight, one rafter.
I would just be sprinting at this guy. Now they're gonna peek you. I feel like we're just a little bit kind of passive here. I think it's because you realize, like, yeah, my gun is leagues below these guys' gun. They're the guns that these guys have that I'm against. So you kind of just let that, like, push you into being more passive or not as risky. But this is the round where you should be most risky because you have the least to lose, if that makes sense. Be careful ramp here. I would, yeah, throw a flash and just kind of run up. You save your life. Get the heal from your sage first. I would ask for a heal. Again, it's like, oh, it's just like 27 HP. Doesn't really matter, but, you know, again, that could be a difference between you getting this next kill and dying.
I think I ran through these guys even with 70 HP. That's runs.
Oh.
Yeah, not saying you couldn't.
On screen.
Could easily. Even with 1 HP. I like our position here. This is kind of an unnecessary peek. I'm not saying again you couldn't kill him here. A good angle for you to hold could be like just kind of holding like right here. You see this? Because like by the time they're coming out right now, they're going to be looking in this direction because they kind of, you know, they have to kind of just kind of clear out a little bit at least. But by the time they're like coming up here, they're going to be starting to look out the window, and you can just shoot them in the side of the head, get the heal, and then fight over here. But here you're kind of just like you're at where they're going to be looking. So that's like a little tip. Okay.
What a shot.
I think that guy forgot what gun he had. Okay, good job. Pop your ult, break the wall, run through with the flash or without a flash. Just focus really hard on getting one kill on attack, and you'll start to see, once you get into that position where it's a 5v4 and you get the first kill and your confidence is up, you got the like overheal, like you got everything in your ult, you're invisible. You'll start to see things a little bit differently. You'll start to see like the opportunities you have at the start of a round on attack in a 5v5 is vastly different from being up here after a kill in a 5v4. You're like, okay, we could push B or we could go here, and you can start like opening areas for your team.
Man.
Yeah, just insta break this. She hasn't peeked the wall so far. I like that we're breaking both segments. That's what I like to do. I like to walk up in the slow sometimes because it sounds so dumb, but it actually works. Again, probably should just focus on buying full armor. I don't know who's telling you that, but you should buy light armor, but they're probably wrong.
Yeah.
There's a pretty high chance they're wrong.
$40 Omen, CT 1 heaven.
Okay, I like that we're fighting just because... Oh, this is actually a pretty good example of how armor might have saved you. You get dinked for 124, so this is actually kind of not a great example.
Holy.
But you might have not died if you had that 20 extra HP. You could have got the one tap off. Oh, wait. Oh, I was like, it said 124 for a second. I was confused. So it actually would not have mattered here, but you can imagine where like it would matter.
Oh, that's unlucky. Yeah,
I think it's fine to go for the kill here. If this was
I didn't want my Empress to run. I was like, okay, I gotta get the kill quick.
That's again why you could just walk through the slow mid, because it doesn't hear you. I wouldn't let it like, if like, oh, there's a slow, and just always.
I think a lot of the reason why I don't push mid on this map, I think it's like a personal thing. I just have like PTSD of always someone playing like a ratty angle. Like,
yeah,
shotguns are ratty angle down mid.
Mm-hmm.
There's always at least someone holding.
I agree.
Nah.
I agree, but it also comes back to what I was saying earlier about every team you play against is different. So like, if you're going up mid once and then there's a judge, you could probably guess that the next, the
next 8 times
the rest of the games, yeah, the rest of the rounds they're gonna have one as well. But the one time you try it and there's nobody looking and you shoot the sage here, for example,
40 Omen.
right here, if we're mid right now, the sage is not looking mid. There might be someone in vents or something you have to deal with, but there's a good chance you could have made it up here, just kill this guy. And then, until, like, basically, don't assume what the enemies are doing. Try, just experiment until it goes wrong. And if it goes wrong, you can adapt again. That's kind of a theme with this gameplay as well. Is like, try new things, be adaptable. Don't defend the same area. Okay, I like that we're running out. Flash. I guess he saw us.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I even commented. I was like, what? Like, okay.
I think he saw you. No, I don't think he saw you, actually. I think he just spammed.
Yeah, I just spammed that and unfortunately got me.
Yeah, there's no way he saw you. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean, you could have ran up slightly quicker, but not enough to make a difference, I don't think. Like, I think this is just kind of unlucky, so moving on. Team's saving. Stinger is broken apparently, so this is fine. Kind of lurking here. Crosshair placement is too high here. Oh, I guess you're swimming here. Yeah, that's fine.
Pillar. Killed.
You can peek farther away from the walls.
Pillar.
This is good. Right, you're doing right here. But here, this is not good. This is bad.
Killed, Cypher set up B.
I made a step there thinking there's still one on site, so I went back.
Hog one vent.
I think we need to... I think on eco rounds, you need to move a little more decisively with more of an intention. Because again, you have the least to lose on these rounds compared to other full buy rounds. So, especially with your team, move in numbers. As numbers with shitty weapons, you have a much greater chance of making something happen. You'd be surprised if you just sprinted at someone with this gun, it would work more than you might expect. Don't just keep focusing on like, oh, they have a Vandal, I have a Stinger, it's not going to work. Focus on like shorter range areas, running up mid with a flash or just through the slow, get a kill, heal or dismiss. And that's how these rounds are played here. Could you get a lurk kill here? Yeah. But our team's dying in the process and we kind of need you. I'm moving a bit slow. It's pretty bad timing. Could have killed him there though for sure. Overall, just move a little quicker on ecos. We don't have much to lose. Go wait for the slows. Like everyone should be breaking the wall here. And look, if you're running up as you shoot here, you can make it through the wall before you're slowed. Like, that's what I want you to realize. She's not gonna expect that. Sage players do not expect that until you do it. Like right here, I would be swinging the wall, kill her, or moving up to kill her, and then, you know, now we have more options.
Yeah.
It's a B or A.
Careful here. Okay, now it's too late because they're just gonna have another slow.
What in this one?
You guys trolling? Okay. Now we can flash B heaven to the left. Okay, that works.
They're just like half cleared this.
Yeah, second flash could have been saved there, I think. Always could be main though, be careful. Again, peeking kind of close to the wall. I feel like you like
I
half,
do that a lot.
you like half expect them and then half don't expect them. This is something you could just work on like in deathmatch. Yeah. And overtime, yeah.
Going around to go beat heaven, I think. Here.
This is good, but like kind of bad because, okay, so for example, this would be better if you had 2 of your teammates on site to slow them down, or if you had like a killjoy lineup from a teammate that they're gonna activate that they're playing for. The problem here is if they both come from heaven or both come from spawn, or like they quickly converge from heaven and spawn and kill your Sova and then they stick it. By the time you're running up, it's kind of too late because it's not really planted for you here either, so that's even worse. So we should just be holding W, keep going, because we don't have the time to work with here. They're not going to be expecting you here. There's no way. I would have actually not shot him. I would just kept walking up. Does that make sense?
I think yeah. I tried to get there because I didn't want a Sova to die there, so that's why I killed him.
Yeah. After you realize he's dead here, you could just wait, walk up. They're not gonna think about you being here until a little bit later. This might actually be fine to kill him though. This is where your second flash could be really, really good though. Because the second flash you threw earlier from here didn't do much, but here it could just buy you enough time to win the round. Yeah, just try to like really hide until they tap the spike. There's no losing the round until they tap the spike. Here, this is just kind of yeah. That is an angle that I would kill a lot of people from there, but also from like right under here on hell.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I like the wrap. It could have gone bad. It could have gone better, but were we saving as a team?
Yeah, I think we were.
Okay.
Same thing happens here again. At this point, I feel like we just gotta expect this guy to be peeking here, or playing like this area. In general, we could just kind of hold it for like 5 or 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then if he doesn't peek, you could flash it. But this guy's he's just kind of like, it's kind of dumb, because he's doing the same thing over and over and over. But it's still working for him. So.
I'm surprised.
So yeah, attack as you can see is much harder. Team coordination and comms, like actually having a plan and sticking to it together as a team is important, and that's, you know, that's not very common in Plat. So
Never mind. Safer
that's why attack can be really hard.
Oh, yeah,
here.
I noticed that they were like also 3-stacking because I'm solo queuing, so
That's odd. Your team might have a 3-stack. Ace. So here, for example, what ult do you think we should base our round around?
say wait, can I go back? I'd say if we had fade ults.
Yeah, we do. Can you see it?
Then yeah.
Yeah, we have 4 ults. Fatal is like the big ult, big team ult, initiator ult. It's because yeah, go ahead.
I think I went mid here to try and flank.
Always going to be that wall though. It's always good to just break it, even if you're alone. If your team's not really listening or following you, shoot the wall and run away.
Yeah, I've built that habit over my time of playing to just break the wall.
Good. You can even break 2 segments. And then it's going to force that Utsul. It's going to force the Sage to stay there for a little bit.
Blinding sight. Watch
Like,
out.
if you were just walk through this, I promise you, like, with the flash, or even if you just wait for a second and come through, or before the slow goes down, you're gonna catch one. Like, they're not gonna expect that. They probably won't expect you in general.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, it cancels a cipher ult? That's interesting.
Yeah. Like, I realized that, and I didn't swing. So I thought someone would be there, but...
She might come to you here. No, okay. Okay. Kinda, like, I think that you're moving still a little bit slow. I think that the way that I like to put this a lot is, like, you respect your enemies too much. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That it can be a good thing. Especially when you know, like, you need to. But I think, in this scenario, it keeps you from dying as much, which might sound kind of silly. But more deaths means more fights, means probably more kills. Means more engagements with enemies. Yeah. So yeah, pop ult. I don't know how many rounds you've had ult.
Every round's like, yeah, I think every round I need to pop ult more, but also, like, I think every round I autopiloted, just breaking the wall, apply pressure.
Breaking the wall is good, but we need, like, a plan after. Like, okay, am I gonna run through the, am I gonna have my team break this wall with me and I'm gonna run through it for a kill and dismiss, or are we gonna, after we break the wall, instantly run away? Another thing you do is break the wall, throw a flash through like you're gonna run through, and then run back and go B main or A main or something. Have people start again. This requires more coordination, so know what your team is capable of in terms of coordination, and then work with what you have, because you're not gonna be able to do like some VCT strats where you like have one person start here, two people here. This person has that, this person uses this ult, and then, like, you can only do so much, most likely, in plat, but work with what you have. Try to experiment a little bit. These guys, we already know exactly what they're going to do. It's, okay, are they breaking the wall? Yes. Smoke it. And slower a bit. So, breaking the wall is always good, though. Pop ult, run out. Confidence, no stopping. Careful for trip. Yeah, running out in this is cringe. Cypher players are cringe. Don't go B main.
Yeah,
ask your team to leave.
That. I was like, let's get the fuck out of here type shit, so.
But, like, our team's on the same page as you. You might think they are, but this is, again, where comms are useful. I've said that probably, like, 8 times already, but yeah. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. We like to play on our own, kind of lurk a lot. If you want to rotate back together, ask your team. Tell your team what you're thinking, what you're wanting to do.
One more heaven.
What? This guy's late.
Yeah,
you, like,
sort of just ended around there.
Like, this should not work. This guy shouldn't be flanking there. This guy should be, like, in spawn or something. And then you're kind of wasting your time, but you do get a kill. He doesn't even realize, so GG.
GG.
Overall, pretty good.
GG's. She likes.
I think that's like me getting back in the plat too, I think.
I want to see everyone's ranks.
I didn't show. I think I talked about it in the box that Valorant tracker, which it didn't show in the thing, but
that's okay.
Their Sage was diamonds.
Was it like average plat?
It was, yeah. It was average. It was average out of plat.
Okay. Yeah. So overall, I recorded like the main points, but the main points are like on defense and on attack. Be less predictable. Like on attack, it's okay to always break the wall at the start, because that's just really good to do to apply pressure. But after that, try to do different things. But especially on defense, try not to just go like B main or mid. You only went A, I think, once or twice on the whole defensive half. So try to do that a little. Try to change that up a little bit more. Your flashes could be used a lot more efficiently, especially for information. Our comms could be way better. That's a big one as well. Those are like the main ones. If you want to, add the icing on the cake, could be like extra aim training, consistently being disciplined about it, because that can carry you to diamond. I know we talked about how people in plat are all aim, but their aim's not like the best. They're in plat for a reason still. If their aim was good enough to take them to immortal, they would be closer to immortal. Any questions about anything?
Oh, I feel like it was very straightforward.
Okay. I will upload this VOD raw, and just send it to you, and then I'll probably make it into a video later on as well.
That's cool. Dope.
Okay. Any final thoughts or anything?
Just like notepadding every single thing that you told me down. So.
Good. Yeah. Feel free to just shoot me some questions or anything else you want to talk about after you play some more games. Like,
all right, yeah.
Another month or two, if you're like in Diamond, we can have another session, and that will probably be what you need. Right now, it's kind of a matter of just taking a lot of the stuff in that I've given you, because like, you know, I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you.
I think it's gonna like I think it's gonna take me to that next step.
Yeah, good. Whatever sticks, but that's what the VOD's for. That's what writing stuff down is useful for. To kind of go back and think about it. Yeah, good session. I think you have potential.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem. Hope you have a good weekend. Yeah. Reach out to me whenever.
I will for sure. I'll probably have questions later today then.
Yeah, for sure. Good luck.
I gotta get going, man.
Yeah, good luck, man. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Peace.